Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome our viewers to our channel. Make sure you subscribe and share with your friends. Today we are going to look at the subtopic trigonometric graphs. And trigonometric curves are periodic in nature. What do we mean by periodic in nature? That means they form exactly similar patterns after a given period. Now, there are some terms that we need to know that are associated with trigonometric graphs. And the first term will be amplitude. And amplitude, we can say it is the maximum displacement of a wave from the mean position. So the maximum displacement either above the mean position or below the mean position is what you call the amplitude. And the other term that we are going to look at is period. That is the interval after which the wave repeats itself. Now, these terms, they help us understand the characteristics of the waves that we are going to draw. Now, let's look at an example of trigonometric graphs. Example is asking, plot the graph y equals to sine x and states, command 1, the amplitude of the wave, 2, the period of the wave. Let's now plot our graph, and the value of x ranges from 0 degrees up to 360 degrees. Now we have to get the value of y, and the value of y is equals to sine x, and we have the values of x here. Okay, so we have to start with the value of y, which will be equal to sine x, and in this case we'll start when x is 0. So sine 0 is going to be 0. Then sine 30, because the value of x now is 30, will be equal to 0.5. What if now when x is 60, we are going to have 0.87. When x is 90, then sine 90 will be 1. Then when x is 120, therefore sine 120 will be 0.87. Sine 150 will be 0.5. Sine 180 is going to be 0. Then we have sine to 10 degrees, which will be negative 0.5. Sine to 40 will be negative 0.87. Sine to 70 will be negative 1. Sine 300 will be negative 0.87. Sine 330 will be negative 0.5. And finally, sine of 360 will be 0. Okay, so let us now plot these values. That is, when x is 0, the value of y will be 0. When x is 30 degrees, the value of y will be 0.5, so on. So let us plot. So here we have our graph. We have the x-axis and we have the y-axis. Now, when x is 0, the value of y will also be 0. When x is 30, the value of y will be 0.5. When x is 60, the value of y will be 0.87. So we can round off to 0.9. When x is 90, that will be 1. 120, it will be 0.9. 150, that will be 0.5. 180, that is 0. To 10, that will be negative 0.5. To 40, we can take as negative 0.9. To 70 will be 1. 300, that will be negative 0.9. Okay, 330, that will be negative 0.5, and 360 will be 0. Okay, 360. So we have to join the dots. And you have to plot a perfect curve. So now our curve will be y equals to sine x. Okay, now once we have drawn the curve, now can we find the amplitude? Now the amplitude will be the maximum displacement from the mean position or from the x-axis, either above the x-axis or below the x-axis. And you can see the maximum displacement is 1. So therefore the amplitude is 1. What about the period? So for the period, it is the angle for one complete oscillation. The angle for one complete oscillation. Okay. So here we have a half plus a half. There we have one complete oscillation. So the angle for one complete oscillation is what you call the period. So in this case, the period will be 360 degrees. So that is how you are supposed to plot a trigonometric graph, and that is how you are supposed to get the amplitude and the period. Thank you very much and welcome.